It's a new year. Time to crack open a new Funwhole.
Which collection would this one be from?
We only focus on 2, and we've run out of Cyberpunk sites, Mouse. So let's head back to Funwhole's Steampunk universe.
Just remember, you can't have fun with your hole unless you play with it. The Steampunk collection's been a little hit and miss for us.
We built a really cool and bigger than expected airship.
But also the disappointingly non-steampunky enough trading center.
Well, Funwhole's latest addition to that series is the Flying Club.
Will it exceed our expectations? Or be another disappointment?
Only one way to find out, hey? Let's open the box and start building. Thank you, Funwhole, for sending this set for us to review.
It's quite smaller than the other buildings we've assembled.
You're right, Mouse. Funwhole initially centers the antique store, which has 2,847 pieces, then the trading center with 2,680, and the cyberpunk apartment, 2,507. This new Flying Club clocks in at 1,858. Whoa! That's a drop of almost 1,000 pieces from the antique store.
It's like they're getting smaller as we go.
Let's start by taking a look at the minifigs.
For fear of repeating ourselves, yes, they don't look like Lego minifigs, but full marks to Funwhole for creating something very different and distinctive.
I love how round they are.
Well, I don't love how you have to assemble them. Putting their tiny hands and arms together, especially since you need to make sure you use the correct ones, as the left and right arms and the left and right hands are actually different molds. Would be so much better if the torsos came pre-assembled. You know, like Lego do it.
You've been saying this every time we review one of these sets, McCluck.
That's because it's worth repeating often, GG.
This set comes with 5 figs, and all are dressed up to the nines in their finest Victorian attire.
Not much variety in their skin hue.
None. They're all Caucasians. That's something Funwhole should really look into. I see the women have special skirt pieces.
Which is very similar to the capes we find in the Lego-verse. And one of them has their own accessory, allowing you to swap their hairpiece for a leather helmet.
Before we get to the building, we're all now pretty familiar with Funwhole's specialized and unique pieces, most of which are used to help conceal the electric cables through the build. But here, we've bumped into a new one we've never seen before, a 1x1 half sphere.
That's got nothing to do with electric cables.
It's going to be used for decorative purposes, McCluck, like this contraption, for example.
Is that an umbrella holder?
I believe so, yes. Now, just like the antique store and cyberpunk apartment, the Flying Club itself is built on a 32x32 base. And before we get too far into the process, once all the back ones have been used, we need to make a modification to the set in order to make it fit with the rest of our collection.
You're putting it on a mill's base?
I sure am. Plus, I think it'll help strengthen the structure, making it easier to move it around. But yeah, if the base looks different to what you were expecting in the shots going forward, that's because it is. But rest assured, we've only altered the base. Everything else is as Funwhole intended. Now, unlike other sets, especially the cyberpunk apartment, which got you to deal with electric cables from the very start, this one feels much more like a traditional Lego set, as you don't need to add any cables for a good long while. In fact, about a third of the build happens without involving any cabling at all.
On top of that, this Flying Club showcases a generous number of prints, which you get to enjoy almost from the get-go. Prints like the Exploration Airship Manifesto, some newspapers focused on aviation. There's even a bust of my man, Leonardo da Vinci. And there's more prints, like this newspaper on the table talking about the city bridge.
Cheeky of Funwhole to promote one of their sets that way. Best form of subtle advertising, if you ask me. Heck, Lego do it all the time, and we all love those little dots to other sets.
I can't deny it. And then there's a record player. Looks exactly like the one in the airship.
Except there is a major difference, McCluck.
Absolutely. It's a print, not a decal.
I like how the armchairs and sofa are built. They look nice, and it is possible to put a Funwhole thing on them, but getting them to sit will be more down to luck than design. It does work, but it's an exercise in patience.
Or frustration.
As for the sofa, the fact the table is so close is what makes it possible for one fig to sit on it. You can wedge his legs against it. Otherwise, I'm afraid it's just not designed for sitting.
Reminds me of that bench outside the antique store.
It's actually somewhat easier to use than that one. At least with those seats, there's a chance the fig can stay in place. Now, by the time the bags 3 are done, one corner of the wall is already complete with stairs and additional prints.
I recognize Da Vinci's helicopter concept.
There's a funny-looking winged box flying machine next to it.
And there's a large painting of a winged man on the other wall.
But most of the pieces in those bags 3 were used to construct a big outside mechanical device with a handle that allows you to make it turn, although it doesn't do much as of yet.
It may not do much, but it already does more than all the gears that were present in the trading center.
It's true that aside from the clock, the gears in that one did nothing.
And by the time we finish the bags 4, the whole of the ground floor is done.
The building's very bland, mine. I mean, look at it. 2 featureless walls. Okay, the front shows potential and that machine on the side is intriguing, but half the build is just blank walls.
That's because what's of interest lies inside, and you can open one of the walls to get a much better look at all the details in there.
It's a great open plan floor.
I like the painting on the wall that represents all the included minifigs with this set.
It's indeed a nice touch. All the members of the club are there, present and correct.
Oh, look! Stairs! For going upstairs. Well, that's hardly unusual, McCluck. Well, tell that to the trading center's most steampunk room, which was on the first floor, yet had no access.
Or the cyberpunk apartment stairs, which didn't reach the top.
Think the figs will be able to use these?
Only one way to find out. But first, let's have a look at the connections. If you check LEGO modular buildings or even the Funwhole antique store, the top of the bottom floor's walls is mostly made of tiles, with a handful of studs here and there to secure the upper floor in place while making it easy to remove.
That's why touch terminals exist, to make sure the power flows when the floors are connected, but you don't have to deal with dangling cables when you remove the upper floors. Well, that's the theory anyway. But that changed with the cyberpunk apartment. With that one, it looked like the floors were not meant to be removed anymore, meaning the touch terminals only exist to make it easier to build the set.
And here, it seems the Flying Club is following the cyberpunk apartment's lead. Just look at all these studs. Once connected, the upper floor won't be easily removed. You'll be pleased to see, though, that unlike the cyberpunk apartment stairs, these do reach the upper floor.
I'll be the judge of that. Yep, they do reach the top. That's a great improvement, but... Ow! I can't get down them.
Could it be because your beak's in the way?
Come again.
Whoa, hold on. Let's try it with a Funwhole fix, shall we? And, well, it can't go down the stairs.
Yeah, by falling down. That's not how stairs work.
Not unless you want a trip to the hospital.
It quite obviously needs a bigger opening, I'll grant you that. So, with bags 5 all used up, we've been furnishing the first floor. There's a weird device that will have some kind of orange light inside, a desk, a print of a book on the floor. Could have been an actual book, mine, rather than a print of a book on a flat tile. There's also a blackboard with more flying machine designs.
Which includes the golden one that's on display in the bay window downstairs.
And a preliminary design sketch for a wing, just lying on the floor. Engineers can be messy, Pops.
And it actually gets a little messy with bag 6. Some of the construction involved these lovely prints representing stained glass windows. Most of the pieces in these bags are for interior decoration.
I quite like the grandfather clock.
It's quite unique in its design, and it also does a great job at hiding the power cable behind it. I personally liked how they did the workbench's drawers. It's actually the same process they use for the desk at the back of that room.
And how do they do it?
It's the hinge mechanism of a 1x2 hinge plate.
Ha! Ingenious. These inventors clearly know their stuff. And by their workbench, there's also another model of yet another flying machine, this time a biplane.
Bags 7 are used to finish up the first floor, and there's another printed painting on the hinge wall, but the bulk of those bags was used to complete this massive outside contraption, which is the top part of the one we built earlier. It's all connected now. Turning the winch makes all the gears move, which activates the propeller attached to the side of the building.
Oh, that's fun!
So much better than what the trading center had to offer. Looks like they sledgehammered their way through the wall when they built that thing. Engineers gotta do what they gotta do.
I wonder if they got planning permission to do all that.
Never mind about that. Look at the top of that floor. There's just a couple of studs on either side. Seems to me, unlike this floor, the one above it will be designed to be removed. As it should be.
Only one way to find out. Let's bring in the completed last floor. And as you can see, it slots in very easily.
I like the spinning propeller at the top. It reminds me of those caps with the propeller on them.
Well, it would, wouldn't it?
What do you mean by that?
Guys, we're here to see if the top floor can be easily removed. And the verdict is... it can. And the top touch terminal remained in place.
Probably beginner's luck.
The top floor's got some windows on the side.
None of those have glass, though.
Probably gets pretty drafty up there.
There are some stained glass in the bay window at the front, a landing platform, some kind of weird steampunk contraption just at the top of the stairs.
Which again have too narrow an opening. And actually, no easy access since you can't remove that ceiling.
Well, the large opening from the landing pad should help you put figs in there, though.
With just one more set of bags to go, it's time for the final touches. Most of those bags' content is used to build the flying machine these inventors created. You sure that squarish thing can fly?
It's amazing what imagination can achieve. And of course, the landing pad on the roof is designed for it. The rest of the pieces are there to add a little bit more detail. A telegraph pole at the back.
I like that one. Looks really effective.
And a fire hydrant on the front corner.
And there's also a large gas canister of some sort in the corner, which proves beyond doubt the middle floor isn't designed to be removed to give access to the ground floor, as that canister has 2 connection points, one on each floor.
Well, yes, there's that, but surely the massive cot mechanism on the side, which spans 2 floors and can't be easily disassembled, makes that blindingly obvious, no?
I'm an idiot.
So there you have it, the Steampunk Flying Club in all its glory. The large cog mechanism is lit up by one spotlight showing the broken through wall on the first floor and a large window at the top. The front is beautiful, with stained glass bay windows, the first floor one representing hot air balloons. There's a lot of detail here to make it look enticing. Shame the next 2 walls have nothing to draw your eye.
Except one of them is designed to be openable, letting you see everything that's inside.
I like the blue ore that's lit up at the back. A nice nod to the set that started this steampunk collection, the ore train.
This flying club is a nice, solid design. By contrast, if you look back at the antique store, I said it felt more like a mock rather than a model available for sale, and by that I meant that it was overly complicated and way too fragile. Bits kept falling off every time I handled it, which is not what you want, obviously. Plus, that set had issues, mostly due to the floors being very tricky to connect to each other properly. So, yeah, it looks nice as a display piece. The Flying Club is much sturdier, which is a great thing, but it has a couple of issues, one more serious than the other.
Is it to do with the blank walls?
Yeah, one of them has to be a narrow alleyway for the simple fact that you need somewhere to put that massive battery pack. I don't have a problem with that, but why not put a little bit of gribbling on the walls or add a trash can or something, to make it look more interesting when displayed on its own?
Well, that problem goes away when you put the Flying Club into your city because you won't see that side of the building.
You're right, GG, but that opens up the second problem. Once you put this set against others, you lose access to the ground floor, as you can't open the walls anymore since a building's against it.
Damn, that's right. It's the same problem with the cyberpunk apartment, in fact. Ironically enough, the antique store doesn't have that problem.
You win some, you lose some.
It's not ideal. I feel there should be a way to be able to have both an opening wall and easily removable floors.
To be fair, all sets have their issues and they all have great things about them. Now, when it comes to price, that's where nearly all Funwhole sets shine, and this Flying Club is no exception. It retails for $100. That's about 5 cents a piece, which is damned impressive when you think about the Lego competition.
And it's not just the pieces, but it's full of beautiful, high-quality prints, and of course, the lighting kit.
Plus, Funwhole very often run promotions, which means you could get the set you're after for much cheaper than that.
That's right. Discounts start at 10%, but have been known to go as high as 40%. In fact, as we record this, you can get 25% off the Flying Club. And for that, you get a nice build that's sturdier than most, looks good, and even blends well with other modular buildings, be they Funwholes or some other companies. So, this concludes our tour of Funwhole's Steampunk Flying Club. What do you think of it? Share your thoughts in the comments, and we'll speak to you again next time.